Hi, I'm Maddie at Querri. The average weekly RevOps report can take a full day to compile, with a lot of wasted time just cleaning, joining, and exporting all your data. I'm going to show you how to automate the whole process weekly in about 5 to 10 minutes with the power of Querri. To get started, let's connect our data in a new project. So we press right here, and I'll connect our HubSpot deals, sales engagement, product usage, marketing HubSpot leads, as well as our QuickBooks and our quota targets. And we'll let Querri initialize the data. So now that our data is loaded in, we can see that Querri has given us a brief overview of it, telling us that we have full pipeline visibility over our RevOps for 2025. I specifically want to look into Q4 2025, so I'm just going to tell Querri to create a Q4 2025 dataset with unique deals only. Make sure it doesn't duplicate anything. Duplicates, just because we have so many different data sources going on here. Filtered to deals that closed in Q4 with each reps. Let's do each reps quarterly quota, so we get a bit more visibility into our specific reps and how successful they are. So now that it's generated this for us, we can look and we have 496 unique deals, 50% win rate, totaling 37 million in deal value. That seems a little bit high to me. So what I want to do is I want to look in here, and if you see right here our unified data set, it is closed won. I really only care about successful deals here, so I'm going to tell it to filter only by closed won. And now it's going to give us exactly what we need to show, how much revenue we're bringing in on the deals we actually win. Now our data is filtered down to only where we were successful. Here's our good data set, and tells us our win rate, our top performers, our lead source winners, pretty much everything that's ready for a more detailed analysis. Now I'm going to tell Querri to go into that analysis. I'm going to say show Q4 pipeline versus quota, week over week pipeline change, closed 1 to end of Q4 first target, and forecast the gap deals. With Querri's analysis, we can see that we pretty much crushed our pipeline. All of our categories each are higher than our quota. If we look down here, our weekly pipeline chart is pretty, honestly, a lot of variation. It dips down towards the end, but that would make sense, holiday season. But it's a lot of variation, not terrible. But the good thing is it's variation with a high amount of money. So we're okay with that. It's above the quota. And then we can look at all of our reps right here. They're all crushing their personal quotas, all in high amounts of excess, high percents over. So this probably suggests, as Querri's saying, that we probably need to recalibrate our quotas, probably raise them. Let's see what Querri thinks about us recalibrating our quotas. So let's ask it, investigate if quotas need to be changed for quarters. Just so we can make sure this isn't just a Q4 thing that's going to skew us, or if this is an actual issue that we need to focus on. So now we've had Querri look into every quarter as a whole, and by rep, we can see that we're pretty much in the green every quarter. Right here, our actual versus our quota, we're just smashing every quarter. And right here it says every rep is overperforming and the quotas are stagnant. So definitely suggesting that we need to raise our quota per quarter. So before we get into creating our dashboard based on all these reports, there's one more thing I want to monitor with this data. I want to look for any deals that are just stagnant, that we haven't been able to close, that are sort of just sitting there, that were opened in Q4. So I'm going to tell Querri to list all late stage deals with no activity logged in the last 14 days. So let's tell it deals opened in Q4 2025 with a close date that has already passed. Let's tell it to include deal name, rep, stage, value, and date since last. Now we can see that Querri has generated us this dashboard, or this data set. We see a lot of things saying this 9999 days since last activity. Querri explains that for us right here, saying that that just means they have 0 logged activity. A lot of deals that were likely forgotten or abandoned. We can see who leads per reps. This is a lot of interesting data. So I'm going to tell it to generate some visuals for this, just so it's a little bit easier for us to get a visual understanding. So now we can look into it by rep, and we can see who has the greatest volume. So that's Eli of the stale sales versus who's the greatest value. Diana, not a lot of volume, but high amount of value being lost in these deals. And we can also look to our last day's activity for these deals, and also the top 10 largest at-risk deals that we're at risk of losing. So this is all really nice. We can combine this with our quarter overview data we got earlier to create a dashboard, but we do want it in sort of more of a weekly sense. So I'm going to tell Querri to create a dashboard monitoring all the data we went over earlier, say including monitoring per rep, and also keep track of the at-risk deals. Now, I want a weekly dashboard, so I'm going to tell it to make this dashboard a weekly focused one and have it be able to update weekly. So we're able to automate it when we have new data coming in. Now we have our dashboard created. So right here it tells us our pipeline health, rep performance, and we can click into it. Look at it right here. So right now it tells us the pipeline versus the quota, the pipeline chart week by week. We can look at our rep gap to close chart for this quarter, 10 largest at-risk deals right here, at-risk deals by rep. So all of this is monitoring the at-risk, and we can also look at our closed won revenue. So that's our actual, winnings, not just our pipeline versus the actual quota target. And one thing we can do is we can automate this. So if we want it to repeat weekly, we just press that right here, weekly at 9 a.m., schedule the automation, and that'll run weekly as long as we update our data. It'll update our dashboard for us. One other cool thing we can do is we can create a query wrapped. So I'm going to say create a, and what this does is it generates for us a nice presentation that we can use to show to any higher ups or leaders the success of our pipeline or the failures, and sort of just what's going on with the data. So our presentation is ready, and it's right here. We can click through it. Now we're able to export this as slides. It's a really easy way to get everything together, organized, and able to be presented to leadership, which is nice. And so now that dashboard's automated, it'll update weekly as it gets new data. And this is just how to take something that usually takes a data analyst or whoever's looking at this all day and turn that process into about 10 minutes with Querri.